From the Bricktown Brewery Restaurant, South Peoria in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Oklahoma Sports Scene. I'm Chris Lake, along with the coach, Gil Cloud, the Hall of Famer. Coach, I tell you, we've got a lineup of really Hall of Famers today, too.
Well, we do with Steve Largnet, being in the top 100 players
Amazing.
in the 100th year of the National Football League. How good is that?
Talked to Steve, of course, about his career, also about the Super Bowl. He was in attendance there, getting his red jacket on for the 100th anniversary celebration. And talked about some youth football, some other items in football. You'll enjoy that as well. Then really amazing, we have an NFL referee here in Tulsa that we also know very well as the Jenks High School boys basketball coach. That, of course, is Clay Martin.
Clay Martin had an astronomical rise in officiating from high school to college and then right into the NFL and being a white hat. And that's after, I think, 3 years of being a line judge. He went in, and he is very meticulous, does a great job, and does a great job of coaching as well. He's gotten Jenks back to 17-2 this year.
Wow.
And
those two losses would have been to
Booker T.
Well, sure, talk to Coach about that as well. And our guys, Thomas Walking Stick, Michael Knight, were down in Dallas this past Sunday for the opening of the XFL football season. The Dallas Renegades with former OU coach Bob Stoops.
I guess Bob's lost one in a row now.
I know, he had a 10-game win streak going to that game.
Unbelievable. But, I watched all 4 games.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little novelty involved.
Yeah.
The kickoff is a lot different. 1 foot down is different.
Yeah.
But, if you really like football, I don't think the product was bad. I heard Bill Hastings say today on the radio he wasn't embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be okay. I think the truth is still out there, whether or not it's going to make it. Vince McMahon, who is the owner of XFL, made a statement yesterday that he plans to lose $370 million this year. So I think, if you plan to lose that much, I wonder how much you plan to make down the road.
The bad news is he can afford it, though, right?
Well, he can. $2.1 billion.
That's the good news. That's the good news. And we also have baseball to talk about with Tulsa Drillers president, general manager, a good friend, Mike Melega. Got a lot going on. Their 70-game home schedule looks great, and he's not real happy with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, there's a trade that came down that cost him 2 of his best players, his catcher and his shortstop, and those things happen in minor league baseball.
Yeah, sure.
And you've got to be prepared. And we'll ask him about when will that roster be set. But normally those rosters aren't set until they break camp.
Yeah.
And then they knew who they've got. In 3 days, they have to play a game.
Well, Mike will talk about the season opener, about some of the changes at One Oak Field with some great new LED video screens, and also kind of neat screening around the entire ballpark now.
I think that for the health and safety,
Yeah.
I think sports liability has become such a big business.
That's right.
How people can get hurt either spectating or playing, that they're going to take their netting all the way down to where seats are on both sides. So if you're sitting in there and somebody inadvertently lets go of his bat, or a foul ball comes out of there, you're going to be able to have at least a barrier that won't injure. And those things happen. You never know when a foul ball is going to get up and you're looking over somebody else and get hit in the back of the head.
Coach, first impressions on XFL, 8 teams. Talking about the West is Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, and Seattle. The Eastern Division is New York, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, and Tampa. 8 teams playing February 8th through the first part of April.
Well, the thing is, and I think the Renegades will play better with Landry Jones at the quarterback. He was injured, and Stoops said that before the game that he could have played, but they really didn't want to put him in that position that early. And I think the other thing that you do when you have your backup, you don't have the whole plethora of your offense. You have a certain number of plays that the backup can run.
Right.
And so I think when Landry comes back, I think there'll be – I saw some great plays. I saw some people that did some things that can maybe get them to where they can go. And I heard Pat Jones say today that he thought it was like double-A.
Yeah.
He said, about like double-A.
Sure.
So we'll see.
And Major League Baseball, as our show airs this Wednesday night, Major League Baseball camps open today. On Wednesday, the 12th of February. The games start on the February 21st. The Major League season opens for all 30 teams on March the 26th. Division I college baseball starts this Friday as well.
Absolutely. You can start, right off the bat. And, we've always said that we really wish that we played a split season.
Yeah.
And we tried to get a split season when I was in the NCAA business, where we'd play non-conference games in September and October when the weather's really super.
Yeah, right.
And let's wait till April and May to play your conference games.
Right, sure.
And the baseball coaches said, "You mean to tell me that I've got to play players in the first semester that I recruited?" I said, "Well, what do you think football coaches do?"
That's right, yeah.
You know? So they didn't want 2 seasons, but.
Chris Paul, congratulations, named a finalist for the U.S. Olympic basketball team of 2020. This will be Chris's 3rd Olympics. He won gold in 2008, 2012. This will be also his 50th international game, which ties him with LeBron James. So congratulations, Chris Paul with the Thunder. Oral Roberts University, got to mention this young lady, junior guard Kenny Jo Lippy, former Adair High School star,
Adair High School.
set a summer league scoring record and is the highest scoring individual player in Division I, men's or women's this year. She put 46 points up on North Dakota State this past week.
I tell you, she can shoot it. I saw her shoot it in the Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
When Adair would come down. I mean, she is a heck of a talent, and hopefully Oral Roberts women can get that thing going. It's getting ready to be a tournament time in another 3 weeks, and we'll see.
And also, congratulations once again to the OU women's gymnastics team. They are 11-0, ranked #1, and they've been #1 in the nation since January 7th of 2019.
Let me tell you one real quick funny story. We had our signing day last Friday because it was snowed out on Wednesday.
Sure, yeah.
And we had a young lady who got a gymnastics scholarship
Wow,
to OU.
That's big.
And she came up there and she said, "I want to tell everybody I'm going to the University of Gymnastics." I mean, OU. And I said, "No, you said it right."
That's right.
Because they are the University of Gymnastics.
The women's gymnastics and the women's softball have more national championships now than the football team.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Exactly.
We're going to come back with a Hall of Famer, Steve Largnet. You're going to enjoy listening to him on Oklahoma Sports Scene straight ahead.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Hey, Jen, could you come here, please?
Hey, Sammy, what's up?
Could you tell Winston the 2019 pilots on CRVs are priced to sell this month?
Okay. Winston, Sammy says pilots and CRVs are priced to sell this month. He seems pretty excited.
Yeah, he is.
Hurry in today and find huge savings on all remaining 2019 pilots and CRVs.
Hey, Winston, get excited.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
What a treat it is to have a real legend with us today. Steve Largnet, front handle, Steve.
Thank you,
NFL
thank you,
Hall of
Chris.
Famer. You know,
Yeah,
Coach Proud,
thank
of
you.
course,
Yes,
yeah.
sir, absolutely.
And congratulations, my gosh, I can't imagine bigger. I thought the Pro Football Hall of Fame was the biggest honor, but how about being one of the top 100
you bet.
NFL players in the first 100 years of pro football? Of course, they celebrated that occasion at the Super Bowl. What was
They
all that,
did.
Steve?
Well, you know, I tell people all the time, I snuck by him again, you know. I think I was so short they didn't see me coming. But no, it really is an honor. I mean, you have to admit that, and it certainly is. And, you know, to be surrounded by these guys that I really idolized, you know, in my career, and then guys beyond that played after I did. And so it's just really a cool thing and something I enjoyed a lot.
I think that pregame was really, really nice before the game. And
It was.
They recognized the different positions.
Yeah,
around
in a
that.
limited amount of time,
In a
they
limited
did the
amount of
best
time,
they could.
yeah.
They really did, and you know, my hats off to the NFL They really honored me and honored the rest of the guys, and I think everybody felt the same way.
That was great.
Well, a little background, Steve. Most people know this, of course, Putnam City High School and on the University of Tulsa. Of course, you were heavily recruited, 5-star athlete, right?
Right, yeah, heavily recruited, yeah.
Talk about that.
No, I was recruited by OSU. I was not recruited by OU.
Yeah.
But they were all going to the wishbone, and I knew I was a receiver, and I didn't want to play in a wishbone offense if I wanted to catch any passes. And so, they had Tinker Owens at OU, and so they didn't need anybody else. They had one guy, and so. My grandfather actually is the one that really thought that TU would be a good choice. He was a longtime TU backer and supporter and fan, and so I started looking there, and they were throwing the ball still, and so I really and I liked getting a good education, and so I chose TU, and it was absolutely the right thing to do, because then. The end of my freshman year is when they brought Jerry Rome in, and Jerry just, he wanted to throw the ball every down, and really he was a godsend for me as a receiver, but as a person, Jerry really took care of me and looked after me, and I owe him a real debt of gratitude for not only my whole career at TU, but then with the Seahawks.
Right, Houston was ready to cut you, right?
No, Houston did cut me.
Okay.
I was on the waiver wire,
right,
and there were 3 teams that picked up on the waiver wire. One was Seattle, Chicago, and San Francisco, and Jerry was at Seattle, and so they ended up working out a trade for an 8th-round draft pick. I was drafted in the 4th round. They got an 8th-round draft pick and sent me to Seattle if I wanted to play anymore, and so. I packed everything I owned in a bag about this big and about this big, and I just said, I've gotten cut once. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I can make it, but I'm going to take a few clothes and go up and see what happens. They had just broken training camp, and so I was living with Rick Ingalls, our punter from TU, who was drafted by the Seahawks, and the first. Practice I had, I literally stepped off the plane, went to the doctor's office, got a physical, then went from the doctor's office to the practice field where they quickly put a jersey and shoulder pads and shoes on me and sent me out to practice, which had already started. And Jerry welcomed me there, and he says, "You jump in here, Steve, run this next play." And so it was like a quick post or something. Jim Zorn was the quarterback. He threw a ball to me. It bounced right off my helmet. I thought, "Oh man, this is not good."
It'll be a short stay.
Yeah. Jerry pulled me aside. He said, "Hey, listen, Steve, just play the way I know you can play. I've watched you for 3 years at TU. Play the way you can play, and you'll make this team." I mean, that was like a breath of fresh air for a coach to tell me that, and I don't think I dropped another pass.
I really think that Jerry Rome was maybe ahead of his time and never got the accolades for his offensive schemes that he developed. I mean, it was unbelievable. And the places he was, they always were successful.
Yeah, I think the world of Jerry.
That's right. Not dropping another ball, you have to think that's probably true. Ended up with every receiving record there was when he retired from football. 13,089 yards, and even 100 touchdowns. Very nice for that, Steve. Then it was the 1988 NFL Man of the Year. And then 1989, retired from pro football, inducted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 1995, the very first Seahawk to go in, right?
Right, that's right. Yep.
What was that like, in the gold jacket?
That was actually my first year in Congress, too. So I was a representative from Tulsa, the first congressional district, was in Seattle. And actually, I had come home. It was a weekend. And I went to my son's basketball game. It was at a church out in South Tulsa. And I was sitting in the basketball arena. And I got a call. And somebody, it was Gary Wright, our PR director for the Seahawks, said, "Hey, Steve, I'm just calling to let you know you just been elected to the Hall of Fame. Congratulations."
Geez. Wow.
And I thought, that is really cool, but I got to get back to my son's basketball game. And that really is the way they did it when I was elected in '95. They didn't bring you to, the Super Bowl or anything like that. They just they called you on the phone and said, "Hey, we'll see you in August." And that was it.
Who presented to you?
Well, you have the right to choose, and I had the difficulty of having to pick between Jim Zorn and Dave Craig, my 2 quarterbacks. And so I picked Gary Wright, our PR director, because I didn't want to, upset either one of those guys. So
Sure.
I got a guy that I really liked and enjoyed, and he did a great job.
Well, you're at Super Bowl 54, of course. Talk about the game, about the Kansas City Chiefs finally getting that tied after 50 years.
Yeah, well, I was rooting for the Chiefs. I really wanted them to win. I like their quarterback, but more importantly, I really like their coach. And he's been a great coach for a long time in the National Football League. He's lost a couple of games in Philadelphia, and I just thought, he deserves this. He really does. And so, he really did a masterful job of his play calling and setting up the defense the right way. And so I'm really glad for Andy Reid.
I think it was great for them. I think it was great for the league.
Yeah.
I do too.
A guy with that type of role model for National Football League.
50 years since they played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not 50 years since they won,
That's right.
but 50 years since they played in the Super Bowl.
And I was hoping we'd have a Green Bay Kansas City rematch like Super Bowl I.
Yes, that's
50 years
true.
ago. So
Yeah.
it's amazing, the 100th anniversary. But great for the Chiefs there. And how about Patrick Mahomes? Oh my gosh.
He was really dynamic. I think the last 3 games they played, they fell behind, and then they come back in all of those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a real tribute to your quarterback and to your play calling and a lot of other things, defense that hang tough. But, they certainly deserved it. And, so they were not in a strange position being behind in the Super Bowl. But, I have to say, the 49ers are kind of a cool team, too. I mean, that's a team that won like 4 games the year before.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're in the Super Bowl. That's quite a story, and they'll be back next year as well.
Kansas City outscored the 49ers 21-0 in the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Just it speaks to Andy Reid's play calling and Mahomes' quarterbacking.
And their ability to execute late in the game.
Yep.
After not playing well for 3 quarters.
That's right.
It was pretty tough for 3 quarters.
I was really surprised that Mahomes won the most valuable player. I thought they'd give it to the running back.
I did too. For an OU player too.
There was a former OU player. There was a lot of consternation about that.
Yeah.
But he's the quarterback.
He's the quarterback. That's right.
How it goes.
Your thought on the NFL football the way it is now, Steve? Has it changed much since you retired back in 1990?
95, or 89 actually when my last play. Yeah, but it has changed a lot. With the shoulder pads and helmets they're wearing now, and the referees being so quick to call plays when you hit a receiver or anybody in the head. Go helmet to helmet, that's not allowed anymore. And I think that's really made the game a safer game. And that is what absolutely had to happen if they were going to salvage the league. And I think there was a threat to that, and they've responded really quickly and well. But I think the league is in good shape right now. But they've got to look at not just what's going on in college, but they got to look beyond that and try to do everything they can to ensure that football can be played in a safe way at the lowest level.
Next year, Steve, we're purchasing Rydell helmets for all of our 9 high schools. We'll go 14 at every school this year. It'll cost me about $47,000.
Yep.
But they have diagnostics in them, so we're going to know where every kid hits. At the end of the day in practice, the coach can come in and see if this kid's constantly hitting up here. They need to talk to that kid about technique. You need to get your head up. And that's the thing. And over the next 4 years, we'll have every kid in one of those helmets. Because it is acutely, football participation is down across the country.
Yeah.
Down 10% in Oklahoma.
Yep.
And I think people are really concerned about CTE.
Yeah.
For their young kids getting in. We had a neurosurgeon come and speak to us about 2 years ago. And his deal was that he treats about 60% of the National Football League players. And he said probably 50% of those happened in junior high.
Really?
The first one, before they ever got to that next level.
Wow.
So equipment and technique and so on.
Yeah.
We have a whole other segment with Steve Largnet. Stay with us and right back with the Hall of Famer right after this.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Each week we talk about the GTR, and we know for a fact that Forrest Cameron and his wife Sharon put out a tremendous paper. Well, I brought all 6 of them today. I'd like for you to see them. The Union Bound Dairy. And here is the Owasso Rambler. And if you live in Bixby, how about the Bixby Breeze or Broken Arrow, the Broken Arrow Express, Jenks, District Gazette, and then, of course, the Tulsa Midtown. All of those, the GTR. If you haven't had an opportunity to read one, do it, and you'll be proud of it.
Hey Mo, you feeling tired after the holidays?
Actually, no. I just did some laps this morning.
Laps? How far did you run?
Who said anything about running? I took the TLX.
Right now, you'll find incredible lease specials on all 2020 TLXs, in addition to our huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
Wait, you're going again?
Consistency, Jan. It's key.
We're back with the University of Tulsa's 1975 All-American receiver, Steve Largnet. He has since had his jersey retired, number 83. That was retired by TU in 2008. Before that, the Seattle Seahawks retired his jersey number 80. So without a jersey, there's Steve Largnet here. And Steve, chance to talk to you about some of the football issues. And we started at the end there, Coach, you're concerned about the youth and some of the numbers you've seen.
Absolutely. It's going down. The last 2 years, it's down 10% in Oklahoma. And that concerns, because football is a numbers game.
Yeah.
You've got to have numbers to have depth and so on. And so, you know, we're trying to make it as safe as possible. We have a deal from USA Football where we have all of our coaches in football and TPS have to go through this training preseason about how to tackle and so on. That we bought the tackling rings and everything because we want to protect our kids. But there are a lot of places out there that aren't, and we see it really affecting those numbers.
And the NFL is taking a more aggressive step on this year. They're concerned about it too, it looks like, and developing a lot of programs, doing a lot of research on helmets and safety issues.
They are, and that's all to the good. I think the message that the NFL needs to send, and they are, is to the lower levels. I'm talking about high school and even before that, junior high, and so on, to get kids tackling the right way and wearing the right equipment and that kind of thing, so that it does safeguard the game to some degree. And so I think the league is certainly on high alert. This is an issue that's front and center with them, and I think to this point they're doing a good job of responding.
It was a godsend for us 3 years ago, Steve. The National Football League had a grant program, and we got for $315,000 to hire trainers for all of our schools, because we obviously didn't have the budget to hire 9 trainers.
Yeah.
And it has been absolutely fantastic, because on game night at every stadium we'll have a trainer, basketball arena we'll have a trainer, which we did not have before.
Yeah.
And those first responders sometimes, if it's a critical injury, can make all the difference in the world.
Right. Yeah.
Big Hall of Fame class going in this year to celebrate the 100th anniversary too.
Yeah, that was being included in the top 100 was really a cool thing, and to be there and celebrate the league was really special. And I didn't wear my red jersey. Sorry, my red jacket. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh my God! I understand. The other guy too, Drew Pearson, was really upset.
I know.
Hall of Fame. We were all shocked at that. I couldn't believe it.
Me too. I was disappointed too, and I think there'll be chances for Drew to maybe come back in another ballot. But I was really hoping that Drew would get in there too. Also, Randy Gradishar is a great linebacker for the Denver Broncos. He didn't really get a look either, and so I was really disappointed with those two guys.
Well, I tell you that it seems like some of these things can become so political.
Yeah.
Who you know and all that kind of, and it's just unfortunate for guys to toil that long in their career and not have that opportunity.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just that the Hall has already elected somebody from their class or their generation, and they've got to get somebody from the next generation or the last generation, and they just fall out for whatever reason, and that's really too bad.
Steve, give us an update on what you're doing now in the family. Of course, he was our United States congressman from 1994 to 2002. Should have been our governor.
Yes.
Slight upset there and stuff. But what are you doing now? And any more interest in politics, or is that?
Well, my interest is only watching it now, not to participate in any way other than to vote. But my wife and I, we've decided that this is where we wanted to retire, and we did about 4 or 5 years ago. Bought a house here, and so we're living in Tulsa. We got 2 of our 4 kids in Tulsa, 7 of our 10 grandchildren are here.
That's perfect.
So that's pretty special too. But my oldest son Kyle actually moved to Seattle a year ago, and he's
Really?
living in Seattle.
That's great.
So it gives more incentive for my wife to go with me on trips back there. So and then my youngest son Kramer, he married a doctor. So that's great for him. But she's on a fellowship program in Eastern Kentucky and will be back here this summer. So she's actually just called us this week and said that she's accepted a position at I think it's at Oklahoma State.
Oh, wow.
That she's going to do that and have a clinic. So anyway, we're excited about that.
One of our all-time favorites, the legend himself, Steve Largnet here, the TU Hall of Famer, the NFL Hall of Famer, and the top 100 NFL players in their 100th season. We have something for Steve. He couldn't join us tonight, but when you get Terry back here,
all right,
come back
I'll
for
do
dinner
it.
with us in Bricktown.
Thank you so much.
Steve, great to see you.
Yeah,
thank you, buddy.
man.
Steve Largnet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
We're going to talk more football coming up. Clay Martin, this ought to be interesting, right? NFL referee is going to be here.
Yeah, let's see what he has to say about
And the Jenks High School basketball coach.
He won't like that one.
Yeah, that's right.
T won.
They did. We'll talk more with Clay Martin when we come back on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're at the Bricktown Brewery Restaurant, South Peoria in Tulsa.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
I bring Tulsa's voice to Oklahoma City and Washington. I build relationships with elected officials and community stakeholders to develop policies that grow the Tulsa region. I loved my time at Rogers State University. The personal relationships I developed with professors really helped develop a skill set that would help me serve the Tulsa region that I care about. It all started for me at Rogers State University.
Jackson driving all the way in, left hand layup, good. Joyner throws left side, Rochelle driving all the way down, and a one-hand slam dunk.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. Now our special guest, Clay Martin, the head basketball coach of the Jenks Trojan boys basketball team, and also a referee in the National Football League. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Good to be here.
Good to have you back, Clay. And what a busy NFL season. Talk about was the second as the referee, right?
Yes, sir.
5th overall in the NFL officiating. Started as an umpire. That's a quick rise. Talk about your officiating rise and how you got to the NFL so quickly.
Well, I think just a lot of good fortune. A lot of guys retiring, a lot of great teaching, a lot of things. You know, timing is everything.
Right.
But got a break to go Division I in my second year of officiating. Gerald Austin took a chance on me, so I was doing high school. Mr. Glaude may have given me a check at TPS.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely,
know.
you bet.
I did high school for 2 years, and that's really, I think, what jump-started my career was I got to move to Division I after 2 years, and 8 years there, and while you're there, you're kind of being evaluated along the way, and had a chance to go in and interview with New York for the NFL, and so after 10 years total, got the call.
How do you feel about your progress so far?
Well, gosh, you ask an official that, it's always going to be 50-50, right? Some are really going to like it, and some are going to say, not so fast, my friend. But, you know, for me, it's been good. This year was a much different experience as a referee, as a crew chief, because last year I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
Learned through a lot of failures, a lot of wish I could do overs. But this year, you know, announcements you may have to make that involve multiple flags, multiple things. You know, I had a black cat in a game this year on Monday night. That wasn't in my referee manual. I had a streaker this year, for Pete's sake, in one of my games. That wasn't in my referee manual. So, but just communicating with coaches and getting our crew ready, I think, you know, so I'm looking for even a bigger jump next year after having 2 years under my belt.
So explain to us, Clay, the NFL game referee preparation of the week and then the review, what goes into all that.
How much time do we have? I know we've got a quick time, but you know, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to learn under Ed Hockley when I came into the league, you know, and but he taught me the right way, or what I perceived to be the right way. And if you want to be the best, you're going to have to work. And so, for me, that may be some 5 a.m. mornings to get up and start working for film and rule study. Maybe that's late nights after my son goes to bed and we have family time. But there's a lot of work preparing our crew each week from the previous game, for preparing for the opponents we're getting ready to have the following day on that Sunday. And so we take it seriously, work very hard at it.
What are your travel days when you have to be on site?
Once the season starts, it's not as crazy as people think. I normally leave Tulsa on a Saturday morning.
Oh, really? Okay,
Get there, we meet for several hours and have a crew dinner and do some things. And Sunday morning, do a crew devotional. We have breakfast. We're off to the stadium. Most games are a 1 o'clock kick, and I'm on a 6:30 flight back here by midnight and back to Jenks on Monday morning.
There you go.
What do you think about, there's been conjecture over the years about full-time officials. What do you think about that?
Gosh, I'm sure there's some benefits to it, but I can argue both ways. We feel that we're already full-time officials.
Yes.
If we had the time and I could tell you my week, I think you'd say, well, you already are full-time. And so, I think if I want to be really, really good individually, but most importantly, our crew to be really, really good, we're gonna put in the work. John Wooden once said, good luck usually has the odor of perspiration about it. So hopefully if the ball bounces our way, we've earned it through the work and dedication we've put in for a lot of hours throughout the week.
How many hours a week do you think you put in?
Oh, more than 40. I mean, it's
wow,
yeah. I mean, we're getting after it. And, I don't know, but I would say, Jenks probably doesn't want to know how much time I put in, and the NFL probably doesn't want to know how much time I put into Jenks, so I may have just shot myself either way there.
Clay Martin, NFL referee, Jenks High School basketball coach. Before we talk about the Trojans, them on the NFL, we saw in the XFL. In fact, I want to do a parting shot on this.
Sure.
They have women officials. The NFL has the first one, Sarah Thomas.
Yes.
Talk about women officiating, and what do you think of this?
Well, I'm biased because Sarah and I were on a crew together in Conference USA.
Oh, yeah.
We kind of rose up through the ranks together in our Division I path, and when I became a referee, she was on my crew, and she's done phenomenal. And I think she's done nothing but help that opportunity for women to have that shot, because she's done really well and performed and been in the postseason the last 2 years. So, I'm sure they're all not as good as Sarah right now, but my gosh, get out there and she's done phenomenal. She's done phenomenal. So, we want the best people out there to call the game, whether it's a man or woman, and she's done great.
Starts now, too, because, there 3 female assistants now on the football staff?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So it's carried over now.
Absolutely.
Games, yeah.
Major League Baseball just hired him,
Right.
so you're right.
And Gil, we were looking at it, said how the really crisis almost, shortage of officiating.
Oh, there's no
especially
question.
in high school, right?
Oh,
they all levels,
yeah,
probably.
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
When guys are working 4 or 5 nights a week, you talk about full time.
Yeah.
They go to work in the daytime and show up for that varsity game at 6:30.
That's right.
That's not uncommon. If you're really good, you can work 6 days a week.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there's no way physically you can do that 6th week, the first week. I mean, that's
so someone out there saying, I want to be an official. I want to start in high school. I want to move to college. I want to move to NFL. What are your guys' advice to that? Where do you turn to?
It's called Grant Gower at the OSSAA.
Right.
And there's local associations all over Oklahoma. I think in Tulsa there's at least 2, and in Northeast Oklahoma there's probably 6.
Yes, sir.
Different groups.
Yes, sir.
And they can put them in touch with those people. You take an open book test after you go through some training.
Right.
And you probably start out in junior high, to call a few of those games.
Right.
If you are like Clay, you're in good shape and you work at it and you hustle, you're going to move up quicker.
Yeah.
What we always said was, we'd get a good official and they'd be gone to college.
Sure.
And then when I was in Division II, we'd get a good official and
They'd
we'd go
be
to
Division I. You bet.
They just
You
move.
bet.
You can move if you really work at it.
Yeah.
You can move up.
Absolutely.
And NFL officiating development program. Mm-hmm. That's something that kind of gets people going to.
I think because, 15, 20 years ago you had NFL Europe.
Yeah.
And so they used Europe to really evaluate guys, to train them, get them over there, teach them NFL mechanics, evaluate them, how do you deal with coaches, your judgment. And when that folded,
XFL might not fit that
exactly.
too. Yeah.
I went through arena instead of Europe.
Yeah.
So I had the arena ball for that.
Yeah.
And now we've got the XFL to really look at guys and evaluate them.
Well, it's fun to watch you and work on Sunday night. I'm thrilled to see you on that Monday Night Football game, too.
Well, thank you.
Really
I'm very, very lucky.
Let's talk some basketball now. Heck, what a job he's done with the Jenks program.
I turned the program around.
Absolutely.
Got some great players.
17-2 right now,
We're
is it?
16-2.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I know Booker T's been tough on you, though, huh?
Well, Yeah, we're over. We're over. We lost to them both, and
three pretty good players.
Well, they got an OU, a Kansas, and a 6'8" unsigned, and that's pretty good at the high school level. But you got to give Conley credit too. He's done a great job managing that talent and putting them in the right spots.
Talk about your Trojan team then.
Wow, could for the rest of the night. It's such a fun group to coach. We're so balanced.
Yeah.
We've got 4 guys averaging double figures right now, and our point guard's right under double figures. They love playing together. They share the ball almost to a fault sometimes. But we're really skilled all over the floor. We had a negative. We lost our center first day of practice this year to a torn ACL on a walkthrough drill.
Gosh.
So it really caused us to play some guys out of position. My son's, a perimeter guy having to play inside. Ben Averett is having to play inside, but it's caused our staff to work on some things to how do we compete with our group, and to our guys' credit, man, they've really bought in, and things are going pretty well.
How young are you?
We've got a good mix. We're not deep, I would say. We're playing 7 deep most nights, and I'd like to be a little bit deeper, and if I was a better coach, we'd probably develop some guys and be a little bit deeper, but of our top 8 or 9, we've got four sophomores and 4 seniors. Stephen Kittleman, our junior quarterback, who's had a really good career, is the junior that's getting some good minutes right now. So we've got 4 sophomores that are getting good looks right now.
We got conference district coming up, right? Conference championships.
Well,
regionals.
We play the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Of conference games.
4 games left.
Yep. And then regional starts after that.
Winding down.
It's
here.
It's cutting time now.
We have something for Clay here.
You bet,
visiting
Clay.
with us here.
Come back to Bricktown anytime with us.
Oh my gosh, it's always good to be here, and thanks for being hard up enough to ask me.
Thanks, Andy.
My pleasure, guys.
Good luck.
NFL
Thank
referee.
you.
Clay Martin, Jenks High School basketball coach, having a great season. Finished one great season. Heading for another one too. Best luck to
Thank you guys very much.
We're going to come right back. In fact, Bob Stoops follows you.
Oh,
XFL
man.
football, Dallas Renegades, straight ahead.
Hey, Jen, could you come here, please?
Hey, Sammy, what's up?
Could you tell Winston the 2019 pilots and CRVs are priced to sell this month?
Okay. Winston, Sammy says pilots and CRVs are priced to sell this month. He seems pretty excited.
Yeah, he is.
Hurry in today and find huge savings on all remaining 2019 pilots and CRVs.
Hey, Winston, get excited.
The service is amazing.
Food's delicious.
I love the avocado fries.
I love the energy.
Local beer, great food, truly friendly service.
Look all right for you?
Bricktown Brewery, come and get it.
Back on Oklahoma Sports Scene, and happy to still be talking football. Who knew the spring football XFL is underway?
Unbelievable, and they had 4 games, 8 teams played, and it's going to be an interesting spring season, I think.
Our guys, Thomas Walking Stick, we mentioned Michael Knight. We're down in Dallas to take a look at Bob Stoops' Dallas Renegades. Enjoy some of this little music feature, looking at the turnout, 17,000 fans, great atmosphere for football, a lot of fun until the very end when the Dallas Renegades lost 15-9 to the St. Louis Battlehawks. And afterwards, they got some comments from Bob Stoops as well. So here's our package for a look at the Dallas Renegades' very first XFL football game.
Punches it through. Breaks through, and Keith Ford takes it into the end zone. A 16-yard touchdown run to give St. Louis its first ever lead. looking end zone. Back of it. It is touchdown, St. Louis. Nelson, deep, intercepted. And St. Louis is going to steal a road win. Their captain, Will Hill, with the interception to seal this one.
And, they made a few more plays than we did there at the end. I thought overall, I thought defensively we really did a great job keeping us in there. But, we gave up a couple of big plays. We gave up the quarterback draw on a third down that put them down in scoring position. And then we gave up an RPO that put them down in scoring position. Really, like two plays really kind of took us out of it and put them in position to score. And they executed a great 3rd and 10 down there on the goal line. We had our corner draped all over their receiver. He made a great tough catch, and so give them credit for that. Offensively, we're just we've got to be able to convert down in the red zone and down close. There's too many field goals. I said it and lived it my whole life as a coach. That too many field goals get you beat. You've got to be able to put the ball in the end zone, and we didn't do that. Overall, I thought the guys played hard. Everybody, both sides, and it was a good, clean game. We needed to make some big plays and didn't make them, and needed to be more consistent that way overall. Both sides, we gave them a couple of big plays that did make the difference, and that ends up being the difference in the game. The couple of big plays they made and we didn't. I came in all in, expecting to win. I'm not doing this for any other reason. I want to win big, and so I'm disappointed. I thought we would have played better in a lot of different areas, and regardless of who was at quarterback, I don't go there either. Phillip does a really good job, and some of the inconsistency isn't on him. So anyway, we need to play better.
Here's our souvenir, right, Coach?
Oh yeah, this is the Renegade. What is it? Bandana.
That's right.
Renegade.
Flip
bandana.
it around for him here.
Oh my goodness!
Look at that, see? Two-colored. Dallas Renegades.
Spared no expense.
That's right. How about that?
I'm telling you.
Well, they lose their opener. Boy, that was a shocker. They were favored by 9 points.
9-point favorite.
They're also favored to win the first XFL championship this year. Stumbled out of the gate, losing to Metro St. Louis 15-9. Now they go on the road. They'll play in Los Angeles against the LA Wildcats. That's 2 p.m. this coming Sunday on ABC again nationally. The next home game will be March 11th. Houston at Dallas, 3 p.m. on FS1. So the big thing the XFL has going for them, March 1st. Big thing they have going for them is the TV networks.
Well, they got the money coming in there. And here's the other thing. They can win 7 in a row and win it.
That's right.
It's not over. So there's some good talent there. I think when he gets Jones at the quarterback position, I think that's going to make a lot of difference. And, Hal Mumme is the man as far as the spread offense. So it's first game. We'll see.
All right, Bob's 10-game win streak ending in Oklahoma ended with that game, but he'll start a new one, I'm sure, pretty soon. Hopefully this Sunday against the LA Wildcats, again 2 p.m. on ABC. Back home again March 1st, Houston to Dallas, 3 p.m. on Fox 1. Baseball coming up with Mike Melega, President, General Manager of the Tulsa Drillers. Straight ahead.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Jackson driving all the way in. Left hand layup. Good. Joyner throws left side. Rochelle driving all the way down. A one-hand slam dunk.
Well, it's February, and you know that's close to spring training.
That's right.
So we got the Vice President and General Manager of the Tulsa Drillers, Mike Melega. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, as always. It's almost that time of year, guys.
is.
I'm excited.
That's right. In fact, Major League Baseball camps open as we tape the show. We air Wednesday. They'll be open Wednesday, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think the Dodgers sending their pitchers and catchers down here this week. So our manager's coming in town and heading directly from Tulsa to Phoenix to go to Glendale for the spring training start.
There you go.
And that means spring training games getting underway. And then, of course, right now, still people moving around, parts moving, trades being made.
Yeah.
Mike Melega is not a happy man with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Impact on the Tulsa Drillers. Talk about it.
Well, you know, I mean, huge deal for the Dodger organization.
Yeah.
What a great thing to be able to get a guy like Mookie Betts, top
Oh,
5
sure.
talent in
MVP.
Major League Baseball. I mean, MVP, just outstanding for the organization.
Yeah.
So it's great. And sometimes you got to give up some young talent in order to get some great talent.
Where do they get this young talent?
And they got 2 of the guys from us. So, you know, as of about 5 days ago, I'm thinking, you know, Connor Wong, one of the players that went, our catcher from last season, that he was coming back to Tulsa. And then also our shortstop, Jeter Downs. Those guys were probably coming back to start the year in Tulsa, but now they're going to be going to Florida for spring training and the Red Sox.
Gee,
Yeah.
well, is that all that you've lost?
Well, then they got Alex Verdugo, who was an outfielder, starting outfielder for the Dodgers last year. So they got a really good, controllable young piece in Verdugo. 5 years they have him under team control. And then really 2 great prospects in Wong and Downs. So, I mean, I think, you know, under the circumstances, once the Red Sox committed to trading Betts, they got some good young talent, and the Dodgers are stocked up with it, so they'll send us some new guys.
What about your coaching staff? I know Scott's coming back. What's the other staff?
Yeah,
look like?
Scott Hennessy, our manager, he'll be back. This will be his 3rd full season with us, and our pitching coach Dave Borkowski are back. But we'll have some new faces for the rounding out the rest of the staff.
Hey, congratulations! The end of December this past year, the Drillers were the first minor league baseball team to be a 4-time Bob Friedis Award winner for sustained excellence in minor league baseball.
Thanks. Yeah, that was awesome. It was that's always an honor. It came as a surprise. You know, we were fortunate enough to get honored with that just a few years ago, and it's one of those ones you don't think you're going to get it every couple of years. So it was a pleasant phone call to get, and our team and our ownership do a great job.
Well, circle the date, Thursday, April the 9th, 7 p.m., the Frisco Rough Riders. And I love this 70-game home schedule. It is packed with a lot of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, a lot of fireworks. Talk about the home schedule.
It's a great schedule this year. So 70 games, like you said, starting April 9th. We've got some great holidays on the calendar this year. We're going to be home for Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, nice.
We're not home for 4th of July, but we're home July 3rd, which is just as good.
Yeah, right,
so make
sure.
it part of your 4th of July festivities.
Yeah.
And then we finish up the season on Labor Day. We got Mother's Day and Father's Day. The season is nice and spread out too. It seems like we're home one weekend and we're on the road the next, and then back at home the next after that.
So how many promotions? You have one every night?
70. And then usually we'll have 2 or 3 on some nights. So, you know, a couple hundred or so.
What I like about 44 of the 70 home games are on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. And we open, as mentioned, April the 9th.
Yeah.
That's just not one game, though. You're here for a 6-game homestand to open the season.
It's a great little, we got a little of everything, that homestand. You know, we'll have, obviously, the opening night, our first big weekend, our first midweek day game. On Monday, we'll play a noon game. So those are always fun for the fans to kind of play a little hooky from work for a couple of hours. And then we wrap it up on a Tuesday night game before we go on the first road trip.
And going for some history for the Drillers, right? We've never won, is it 4 titles back to back to back to back?
Well, yeah. Last year was the record, going three years in a row to winning the division and going to the championship 3 years in a row. So, yeah, so 4, I guess, would be a record then, too, if my math is right.
Golly.
So hopefully we can do it.
I know One Oak Field is just such a gem and done such a great job with it, but you need more upgrades to it. Talk about some of the things the fans will see when they go to the ballpark in April.
You bet. Well, a couple of big things we did this year, Chris. The new LED video boards in the stadium, really going to be amazing. I mean, the resolution is going to be more than twice as detailed as it was before. The size of the main video board is going to be more than doubled. So the fans are going to really get hit in the face with a great new way of watching a Drillers ball game. So I'm pumped about that.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that's kind of neat is you've seen a lot of stories about it. Extending the nets, protecting more of the seats from foul balls and bats that get thrown, that type of thing. So we've taken the nets all the way down to the ends of the seating section. So fans come into a game with a young family, they get caught up watching their phones, they get distracted, which everybody does nowadays. Nobody's got to worry about turning around to talk to somebody back behind them or paying attention to their phone to get their great Drillers content from our app.
That's right.
Now they can worry, rest assured, that a foul ball's not coming their way. So it's pretty cool. Unless it's a pop-up, of course.
Well, that's great. And so Does Scott? He's going to spring training.
Yep.
When do you get your roster? When do you know who's going to be coming to Tulsa?
Well, they're making those final roster decisions all the way till the last day of spring training. So typically what happens, they've got a huge number of players in the major league camp. Our manager, Scott Hennessy, he'll be with the major league team the whole entire spring training this year, which is quite an honor for him, well deserved.
Right.
So he's excited about that. But until they start getting to those final cuts, a lot of the teams that'll be playing in the minor league games as AAA, those will be a lot of the guys that'll end up being here in AA. That really doesn't come into focus until the last few days of the spring season.
Congratulations to the Tulsa Realtors have their second inductee coming up this summer into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
We'll take him.
That.
We'll take him. Larry Walker.
Right.
Larry Walker was with the Rockies when we were with the Rockies.
Yeah.
He didn't come up through the minors in Tulsa, but we're going to claim him as one of our own because he rehabbed in Tulsa and had a 5-day stint. But it was impactful because when he was here, he helped us clinch a first half title and a playoff spot. So Larry Walker celebrated and popped champagne in the locker room at Old Driller Stadium with the Drillers. So he's part of our team forever.
And our first one, of course, was Pudge, right? Rodriguez, the great catcher.
Yeah, absolutely. Pudge. No, he was an authentic all the way up through the minors.
Fantastic. I say, well, can't wait to baseball season. I tell you, it's been a rough off season with the banging trash cans and all the things. What are your thoughts on? Should the Astros, should they keep their World Series? I mean, what do you do? I mean, have the Dodgers fly an asterisk on the pole? I mean,
that's above my pay grade. Obviously, it's shameful and it's awful that it happened. I'm ready for them to move on from it. I do wish the players were able to receive some sort of penalties on it. When it was a steroid scandal or gambling with Pete Rose. The players were punished. Why the players were, free of punishment, that I don't understand. But it's time to move on, and I think our parent club, the Dodgers, are going to be in great position to get back to the World Series this year and maybe get over the hump. They'll forget about 2017 and the Astros real quick if they win it this year.
And real quick, Bedlam was not going to come back, and now it will be back, right?
Yes, exactly. That'll be really our first big baseball game at the stadium, March 31st, 7 o'clock. OU versus OSU. It'll be an OU home game, so we're excited for that one.
Well, I tell you, when were they not cheating and stealing signs?
Right. Well, that wasn't cheating if they were stealing it. They're allowed to steal signs. They're just not allowed to do it the way the Astros are. Yeah, exactly.
Come to Bricktown again on us.
Will do. I love it, guys. We appreciate you all very much.
Let's play ball, huh? Ready to go?
Let's do it. Let's go.
Coming back, some parting shots on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Cheers.
All right, y'all, how's everything tasting?
That is awesome.
I come bearing gifts of the liquid variety.
Bricktown Brewery. Come and get it.
Hey Mo, you feeling tired after the holidays?
Actually, no. I just did some laps this morning.
Laps? How far did you run?
Who said anything about running? I took the TLX.
Right now, you'll find incredible lease specials on all 2020 TLXs, in addition to our huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
Wait, you're going again?
Consistency, Jan. It's key.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
We'll wrap things up on this 99th Oklahoma Sports Scene, Show 100 next week, Coach, as we have our parting shots, and Gil Cloud starts us off.
Got to tell you, this legislation that's going around the country to pay intercollegiate athletes a salary, I think is way, way out of line. Yes, the coaches make millions of dollars. Who pays them millions of dollars? The Board of Regents and the presidents at those universities. I don't think it's something that we should get into. I don't think that it trivializes what a college education is worth. What in the world would we do, and how are we going to differentiate from the quarterback who gets all of the publicity to the offensive tackle who gets none of the publicity? What's the equity? There was no equity going to be involved in that. And I got to tell you, I think we commercialize enough already intercollegiate athletics, and it's getting worse. I asked the question last week of Jerry O, what did you think about the halftime show? He said the halftime show of the Super Bowl basically is all commercial, and that's where they've gone with the National Football League. How long will it be till on your college campus you have the same type of activity? I don't think we ought to pay them. They get a full scholarship, football and basketball in Division I schools. They get an opportunity to have an education of a lifetime. I think we need to move on with the room, board, books, and tuition, and that's it.
So did you notice the new XFL Football League? A lot of new things with the league, including, how about this, women officials. That's right, they've taken a serious stand with the lady officials. They have 7 under contract with the XFL. They have to have 1 official at least in every XFL football game, including in the replay booth as well. For the XFL, Amanda Sauer-Cook was their first one to be added. She's also the first openly gay official in all of professional sports. She is a referee that went to Division I college football, the first one to referee a Division I college football game. She had the 2017 Rutgers and Morgan State game. Like most younger officials, Amanda aspires to go to the NFL, just like Sarah Thomas, the NFL official you've seen on the sidelines of the big NFL football games. She also takes part in the NFL Officiating Development Program. That's what gets these officials to that level. As Amanda Sauer-Cook, she said, women can do it as well as men can. Half of it, viewing population of football, are women. They know the sport. They should be encouraged to participate. Maybe that includes being a football official. There's a severe shortage of football officials at all levels of the game right now, so why not add women? As we're saying, we're used to having them tell us what to do anyway, right, Coach? Exactly. So what do you think about that?
I think it's fine. You know, we made a commitment 6 years ago in the Tournament of Champions that in the girls' game we would have female officials, in the boys' game we would have male officials. The association told us there's not enough women out there to do it. They're wrong.
Yeah.
The women are out there. You just have to give them the opportunity to participate.
Looking at Saturday, February the 15th, the FC Tulsa, our great soccer club here, has an open house, 1:30 to 5:30 at One Oak Field, downtown Tulsa. Free for all the fans. Go out and have a great time there. Saturday, February 15th, also TU's National Girls and Women's in Sports Day, 2 p.m. at the Reynolds Center, along with the TU SMU basketball game. Then Monday, February the 10th, Tulsa Tough registration opens up for the great bike race coming up June 12th through the 14th. And we'll see you for our 100th show next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene.